Welcome to PBS 39 Scholastic Scrimmage. Scholastic Scrimmage is brought to you by the members of PBS 39 and by
Scholastic Scrimmage is sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network, the region's leading provider of medical education. For more than 100 years, St. Luke's has been dedicated to educating physicians, nurses, and healthcare professionals. To learn more, call St. Luke's InfoLink, toll free at 866 St. Luke's, or visit sluhn.org.
And now your host, Dr. Karen Walton, Provost DeSales University.
Welcome to Scholastic Scrimmage. This is the 13th contest of the 2016-2017 academic year. It's also the 43rd year that PBS 39 has brought you this academic competition. I'm Karen Walton, and I'm delighted to be your host. From now until May, the best and brightest students from 30 schools will compete for the honor of being the Scholastic Scrimmage champions. At the end of the season, the two final teams will win scholarships for their schools from the Air Products Foundation. Let's meet the team from Palmerton High School.
I'm Maxwell Appello, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Rashawn Salva, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jacob Taylor, and I'm a senior.
I'm Lauren Fegley, and I'm a senior.
Palmerton's coach is Alex Knoll. And now the team from Lehigh Valley Academy.
I'm Jonathan Ski, I'm a senior.
I'm Alex Schmidt, I'm a junior.
I'm Lucas Larkin, I'm a senior.
I'm Ethan Sanchez, I'm a sophomore.
Lehigh Valley Academy's coach is Leanne Whitley. The judges for today's contest are Sally Campbell, retired English teacher, and Dr. Gary DeLeo, professor of physics at Lehigh University. Remember that the questions on Scholastic Scrimmage demand rapid recall of factual information and are not necessarily indicative of academic training. We understand the rules, so let's begin the contest with a toss-up in chemistry. On the monitor is the molecular formula of glucose, C6H12O6. What is the empirical formula? Lehigh Valley Academy?
C1H2O1.
That is correct. The ones don't have to be said, but you did say them, they're fine. And your bonus, how many moles of each ion are present in 1 mole of the compound shown on the monitor? You may confer and then buzz in. Please buzz in, Alex. How many moles of ferric iron?
2.
How many moles of sulfate ion? Excuse me, I meant to say ferric ion. How many moles of sulfate ion?
3.
Yes. Toss up in world literature. Identify this central character from the Divine Comedy. The Florentine poet who? Lehigh Valley Academy?
Dante.
Correct. Bonus. For 5 points each, identify these Divine Comedy characters. Dante's master, another poet who guides him through hell and purgatory. Alex?
Virgil.
Yes. Dante's beloved, whom he strives to find in his imaginary journey through the afterlife. She is thought to be an historical person with whom Dante has fallen in love. Alex?
Beatrice.
Correct. Mathematics. You do not need paper and pencil. The river Pregel runs through the university town of Königsberg, now called Kaliningrad in Russia. In the middle of the river are 2 islands marked A and B in the diagram that are connected to each other and to the rest of the city by 7 bridges labeled 1 through 7. In the 1700s, the college students of Königsberg challenged each other to make a round trip over all 7 bridges, walking over each bridge exactly 1 time before returning to the starting point. How many successful round trips could they find? Lehigh Valley Academy?
None.
None is correct. And your bonus, this question is known as the Königsberg Bridge problem, very famous in the history of mathematics. What famous Swiss mathematician solved the problem in 1735? Alex?
Euler.
Euler is correct. Next toss-up is in language arts. After the word laze, L-A-Z-E, in the dictionary, one finds the abbreviation V period I period. What does abbreviation represent? That particular abbreviation, V period I period. Lehigh Valley?
Verb imperative.
Over to Palmerton. Lauren?
Indicative verb.
Verb intransitive. Good guesses on both parts. Toss-up in physics. Given the circuit shown on the visual, what is the total resistance of the load? It is 60 ohms. Toss-up in world history. This Roman statesman and general is famous for the conquest of Gaul in 54 BC. Lehigh Valley.
Julius Caesar.
And your bonus. After another of Caesar's conquests at the battle at Zela, Caesar muttered, "Wane, weedy, weaky." What is the English meaning of these three Latin words?
I came.
Alex?
I came, I saw, I conquered.
Yes. Paper and pencil for this mathematics question. What number, when added to 1/4 of itself, equals 45? Lehigh Valley Academy?
36.
Is the correct answer. Bonus, paper and pencil. 11 times a number is increased by 10, and the result is 14 times the original number less 5. Find the original number. Alex?
5.
5 is correct. Toss up in biology, multiple choice. Which of the following terms is used to describe an organism that has been genetically altered to express a foreign gene? Is it A, transformed, B, transgenic, C, mutated, or D, replicated? Lehigh Valley Academy?
B.
Transgenic is correct, and your bonus. One technique used to develop transgenic plants is to create plant cells that have had their cell walls enzymatically removed. What are these plant cells called?
Wallless.
Please buzz in. Alex?
Wallless.
They're called protoplasts. Toss up in world history. What is often called the Glorious or the Bloodless Revolution in England in 1688 brought a pair of monarchs to the British throne. Name that pair. Lehigh Valley Academy?
William and Mary.
Yes. And your bonus. What monarch did William and Mary replace in 1688? Alex?
James II.
Yes. Toss up in British literature. According to Ron Rosenbaum in the New Yorker article, the tragic Shakespearean character who utters as his last words, quote, "The rest is silence," end of quote, is the most famous and influential character in Western literature. Whose final words are these? Palmerton?
Hamlet.
Yes, and your bonus. In Act 4 of the play, Hamlet begins a soliloquy with these words, quote, "How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge," end of quote. Hamlet speaks as he watches another character lead his army into battle. Name this other character who serves as a foil to Hamlet. Jacob?
Claudius.
It is Fortinbras, young Fortinbras. Toss up in mathematics. If f of x is equal to the greatest integer less than or equal to x, then f of negative 3.147 is equal to what? Lehigh Valley Academy?
-4.
-4, less than or equal to. You have to go down to -4. Bonus. For 5 points each, determine whether the following equation has a slope that is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. First is y plus x is equal to 1. Alex?
Negative.
Correct. Next, y is equal to 3. Alex?
0.
Correct. Toss up in art. Identify the Italian artist whose surname is translated as Little Barrel. He worked in Florence for the Medici, and his adoration of the Magi, pictured on the monitor, plays homage to the Medici, as the male members are portrayed as wise men. Palmerton?
Raphael.
It will go over to Lehigh Valley Academy. Alex?
Boccaccio.
It is Botticelli. Toss up in chemistry. When a carbon atom uses sp3 hybrid orbitals, what is the geometric shape around that carbon atom? Lehigh Valley Academy?
Tetrahedron.
A tetrahedron is correct. And your bonus. How many degrees are in the bond angles for this carbon atom? Alex?
109.
It is 109.5, and we would have accepted anything in that range. So you are correct. Toss up in U.S. history. What name is given to the most notorious scandal in the administration of President Warren Harding? One. Lehigh Valley Academy.
Teapot Dome.
Bonus. Answer the following 2 questions concerning the Teapot Dome scandal for 5 points each. First, in what state were the Teapot Dome oil reserves located? Alex?
Wyoming.
Yes. In what state were the Elk Hill oil reserves located? Alex?
Montana.
California. Toss up in American literature. In his poem, The Rhodora, this transcendental poet wrote these well-known lines. Tell them, dear. Lehigh Valley Academy.
Emerson.
Yes, I think I'll let the rest of the people hear this quote. Tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own excuse for being. And your bonus. Emerson read his poem, Boston Hymn, at a meeting in Boston on January 1st, 1863, to celebrate what action by President Abraham Lincoln? Alex?
The Emancipation Proclamation.
The signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. The score is 200 for Lehigh Valley Academy and 5 for Palmerton at halftime. In the first round, we asked the students to tell us something about a mentor or a hero or someone whom they admire greatly. So let's begin with Palmerton. Max?
My mentor would be my parents.
My role model would be my parents.
My greatest role model would be my parents as well.
My greatest role model is my grandparents.
Thank you. Let's go over to Lehigh Valley Academy.
My greatest mentor is my great-great-grandfather, Samuel Swackhammer.
And did you know him?
No.
You knew him by reputation
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Alex?
I don't know, I guess my greatest mentor maybe would have to be my neighbor and my dad's friend, Jeff Weiss, I guess.
All right. Thank you.
My role model is my mother.
My role models are my girlfriend and my family.
Thank you. Let's continue with the toss-up in mathematics. The number 120,140, why don't you write that down? 120,140 is divisible by which one or more of the numbers 3, 4, 5? Palmerton?
It is divisible. It is divisible by 4 and 5, and 3.
Over to Lehigh Valley Academy. Alex?
It is divisible by 4 and 5.
Yes. It is not divisible by 3 because to be divisible by 3, the sum of the digit has to be divisible by 3, and it is not. So it's 4 and 5. And your bonus, multiple choice. Which of the fractions on the monitor is closest to 1/2? Is it A, 7/12, B, 9/20, C, 3/5, or D, 3/7? Alex?
9/20.
Is correct. Toss-up in U.S. history. Name the World War II battle fought between the German and the American armies between December 16th, 1944, and Lehigh Valley Academy.
The Battle of the Bulge.
Yes, and your bonus. During the Battle of the Bulge, on December 21st, 1944, the Germans offered the surrounded U.S. 101st Airborne the opportunity to surrender. What was General Anthony McAuliffe's famous one-word response? Alex?
Nuts!
Yes, 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 with great force. Thank you, Alex. Toss-up in U.S. geography. The 3 principal islands of the American Virgin Islands have the word saint in their name. Name 2 of them. Lehigh Valley Academy.
St. Croix and St. John's.
What was your first one?
St. Croix.
Yes, you're right. St. Croix, St. John, and the last is St. Thomas. You needed 2 of the 3 and you got them. And your bonus. Excuse me, it's St. Croix.
Oh.
You would pronounce it St. Croix, but you got it correct. It's spelled as if it were that, St. Croix. Bonus, for 5 points each. Name any 2 of the 4 main British Virgin Islands. Alex?
St. Paul.
Tortola, Anegada, Virgin Gorda, Jost Van Dyke. Toss-up in American literature. Which American poet is linked with a nickname implying he was a benevolent old man? In 1866, William O'Connor introduced this nickname with his book, The Good Gray Poet, written in defense of the poet's Leaves of Grass. Lehigh Valley Academy.
Whitman.
Walt Whitman is correct, which some had denounced as vulgar. Bonus, for 5 points each. Identify the Whitman poems in which the following lines appear. First, I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume, you shall assume. Alex?
Song of myself.
Next. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exalting. Alex?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Yes. Toss up in biology, multiple choice. Which one of the following is not a feature of diffusion? First, molecules move from high concentration to low concentration. B, molecules reach equilibrium with time. C, molecules can move rapidly over long distances. Or D, it is a passive process. Lehigh Valley Academy?
C.
Molecules can move rapidly over long distances. The bonus. When two solutions of current of different concentrations are separated by a differentially permeable membrane, the liquid tends to pass through the membrane. What is the name of this process? Alex?
Osmosis.
Correct. Physics. If sound traveling through water has a wavelength of 3 meters and a speed of 1,500 meters per second, what is the frequency in hertz? Palmerton?
50 hertz. 50 hertz.
Over to Lehigh Valley Academy. Alex?
500 hertz.
Yes, it is. Speed is equal to frequency times wavelength. Your bonus. What Greek letter represents the wavelength in physics? Alex?
Lambda.
Lambda is correct. British literature. The names of 4 English writers are listed on the monitor. 3 of them come from the same literary period. Which one does not belong? Lehigh Valley Academy?
Gray.
Gray does not belong. Bonus. During what literary period did the other 3 authors write? Alex?
The Victorian era?
Yes. Toss up in geometry. What is the image of the point P with coordinates 2, 7 under the transformation that is a translation 1, -5? Lehigh Valley, Alex?
3, 2.
The point 3, 2 is the correct answer. And your bonus, what is the image of the point P with coordinates 2, 5 under the transformation that is a counterclockwise rotation of 90 degrees about the origin? Alex?
-5, 2.
Yes. Chemistry. Name the class of elements that contains nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine. Lehigh Valley Academy?
Non-metals.
Correct. Bonus. Give the chemical symbol of the only non-metallic element that is liquid at Alex?
Br.
Br is correct. Bromine. U.S. history. In the period from 1825 to 1860, one crop constituted 2/3 of all American exports. Name the crop. Palmerton?
Tobacco.
Over to Lehigh Valley Academy.
Cotton.
Cotton is correct. And your bonus. What term did John Louis O'Sullivan coin in 1845 to explain westward migration as divine fate because of Alex?
Manifest destiny.
Next toss-up is in current events. For the first time ever, a songwriter has won the Nobel Prize in Literature? Lehigh Valley Academy?
Bob Dylan?
Yes. Are you a fan?
No, I haven't heard that much.
Bonus for 5 points each. Dylan, 5 points each. First, Dylan took his stage name in honor of a Welsh poet famous for "Do not go gentle into that good night." Alex?
Dylan Thomas?
Yes. Second part. Bob Dylan asked in one of his songs, how many roads must a man walk down before they can call him a man? Where did Dylan say the answer is?
Blowing in the Wind?
Yes, you are a fan, Alex, if you knew the answer to that one. Next toss-up is in world literature. King Arthur legends have inspired many writers over the centuries. Who depicted the Arthurian legends in the first account written in English prose?
Mallory?
Lehigh Valley.
Mallory?
It was Sir Thomas Mallory, and it was called Le Morte d'Arthur. Bonus, world literature. For 5 points each, Mark Twain described King Arthur in what 1889 novel? Alex?
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Second, what Broadway smash hit depicted King Arthur in a musical? Alex?
Camelot?
Spamalot is correct. World geography. The European continent is home to 2 inland seas. Name them.
Mediterranean Sea. Oh wait. And Caspian Sea.
Over to Lehigh Valley Academy. Alex?
The Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea.
The Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. Inland seas. Next toss-up is in physics. An object weighing 50 newtons is pulled across a horizontal surface at constant speed. If the coefficient of sliding friction is 0.3, what is the frictional force? Lehigh Valley Academy?
15 newtons.
It is 15 newtons. The contest is over. The final score is Lehigh Valley Academy 425 and Palmerton -15. I think that Alex could not be conquered today. Congratulations to Lehigh Valley Academy. Thank you, Palmerton, for participating, and Lehigh Valley Academy. We'll see you in another contest later in the season. Thank you for watching and supporting these excellent students. Please join us next week for another contest on Scholastic Scrimmage.
Scholastic Scrimmage is brought to you by the members of PBS 39 and by
Scholastic Scrimmage is sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network, the region's leading provider of medical education. For more than 100 years, St. Luke's has been dedicated to educating physicians, nurses, and healthcare professionals. To learn more, call St. Luke's InfoLink, toll free at 866 St. Luke's, or visit sluhn.org.
This program is recorded at the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39 in Bethlehem.